And I'm going to come back to all of these points, the very important subjects that you touched upon. But I also want to ask you, because until yesterday, the European and the G7 countries seemed intent on having their way with the language vis-a-vis Ukraine. How did you and others prevail upon them to ensure that there was consensus on the declaration?
Well, this is already a majority that is being formed within the countries. On the BRICS, for example, we didn't discuss the war during the BRICS summit meeting. We thought that there's other fora to discuss the war, and we could bring to India a debate, a discussion that has more consequence in Europe because they're involved directly in the war, and the U.S. is also directly involved in the war. But the other countries are not involved directly in the war. The other countries are involved in policy for peace, to develop a policy for peace. We have to talk about peace every day. So that's why we are already discussed with all the European heads of state and government. I discussed twice with President Biden. We don't want to discuss war. We want to discuss peace. When Putin and Zelensky are willing to discuss peace, then India will talk, Brazil will talk, China will talk, Indonesia, Argentina, and other countries will go to peace conversations. We'll talk about peace. We have to stop the war first. And then diplomacy should come in the picture so that we can see the world living in peace.
Would you say this consensus, in a way, is a win for New Delhi, and it establishes India as a bridging power in an increasingly divided world?
India will always be a power. It is a country that has a tremendous 1,000-year culture. It's a country that was already colonized, a country that managed to get its independence with the most extraordinary figure after Christ, which is Mahatma Gandhi. It's a country that has 1,400,000,000 inhabitants. It's a country that is the 6th largest economy of the world, a country that managed to build a cheap rocket and reach a part of the moon that not even the Russians managed, and the Americans managed to go to that part of the moon. So what happened here was the result of the competence of organization of the G20 that India organized as the host country. India is always a country that you have to take it very seriously, very respected country, and I will always say that because we came here and we established a strategic partnership between Brazil and India, and this partnership now needs to be improved so that the trade flow, foreign trade flow between Brazil and India should be the size of India and the size of Brazil. It should be very big because we can do that. So we have the conditions to do. So what happened here was a victory of the organization and of the respectability that we all have for India.